missions, classic F6F Hellcat. And it appears that I am in a rather low tier match. Mark 1 Spitz, P40s. Yeah, and it's 5v5. Get this a lot in a lot of matches. You only rather small groups, so there are a couple ways to play the Hellfire. Well, not Hellfire, Hellcat at low levels. A lot of people seem to think that it's not that good. In truth, it is a very good aircraft and really needs to be upped in battle ranking. Like a lot of the American fighters, its primary abilities lie more in the realm of speed and dive capability, which means that a smart player should start climbing rapidly. Most of the naval fighters for the Americans don't perform at their peak until about 10-15,000 feet, or around 5,000 meters. You will almost never get anyone that will go up that high in historic or in realistic battles. But you should be aware that in order to do the best you can with this plane, you have to climb. And you cannot... while it can theoretically outturn a zero, it can only outturn a zero at top speed at high altitude. It's capable of being a dogfighter, but it's not really at its best in that role. One of the things that you have to remember is the American aircraft tend to have really rugged airframes. They tend to be kind of heavy, but they also have a tendency to have very powerful engines, which means that the aircraft has a very high dive speed, and it's got the engine power to basically power through climbs and turns. However, this means that if you're in a turn and you're powering through it trying to get on someone's six really fast, a straight horizontal turn will not actually do you that much good. The best way to operate these, you have to remember to yo-yo. Either high yo-yo or low yo-yo, depending on the energy situation, if you're in a turn. Another thing is that these planes, they're not really... I don't want to give the impression that they're bad planes, because it's far from the truth. What they are is they're planes that have a very distinct fighting style that a lot of people simply aren't used to. I'm not really that fond of it myself. I've always kind of been a traditional dogfighter, turn fighter, and you can't fly American aircraft that way. You actually might be able to get away with it a little bit in the P-36 and P-40, but the P-39, if you push it too hard, it has a tendency to snap spin, and it's got a really wacky center of gravity. In a lot of games, they have a tendency to spin in and crash. But overall, when you're flying American, you go for speed and you go for altitude. You make high speed passes. You're a boom and zoom aircraft. Now, boom and zoom aircraft does not necessarily mean that you immediately go into a climb after every attack. That, I think, is a really common mistake. Wow, got one of our Spitfires down. There's a Yak 7. See nothing else at my altitude. Yak 7 could be and a Yak 1 and an SU-2. Let's... Oh. We have a P-40, American P-40. Well, the premium P-40 for the Russians. So we're gonna start an attack run on this American aircraft. You do a fast, and then you do not immediately zoom climb. You keep going. Use the speed you gain in the dive to open up the distance. Once you have the distance, I've well exceeded the amount of distance I normally use for this, partly because he was going another direction than I am. If you make an attack run on 109, you have to really push the throttle a lot of times. Oh, he went down just from a short burst. That was a nice crit then. Now, a lot of people complain about the 50 cals. They're not that bad. Even just with 650s, you were able to do a lot of damage on single pass, but you're not gonna do an outright wings sheared off kill the same way you will with a lot of other aircraft. Now, this is a really crummy attack run in my view, but yeah, I'm not gonna get on him. Open the throttle and keep going. He's not going to be able to match my speed, so I can open the distance to 2 kilometers or so, start a zoom climb, get above and behind him, and make another attack run. Oh, we have someone in a MiG-3. And you make an attack run on me, it looks like, yeah. He's not going to be able to make the turret. Big 3s they're a very hard plane to do well with, because they have a very specific niche and role that no one seems to be able to fly them to. I've never seen a MiG-3 used properly in all the time I've played. The MiG-3 is now on my tail. He's not going to be able to match it. I've got myself in a climb. I'm going to pull out to a mile, which is about 1.6 kilometers or more. Make a turn. Wing it over. And make another attack run. I'm not going to get on him. Bad approach. Where'd that MiG-3 go? I have a lot of energy now. There's that MiG-3. MiG-3 is a really bad turn fighter, and it has a very nice top speed at altitude, but getting to altitude in a MiG-3 is something that pilots almost never do, and as a result, barrel rolling in, you use a yo-yo or barrel roll to get into attack position behind your enemy, and then line it up, give them a nice burst if you can. Got too close, pull away. I wouldn't be doing this I wouldn't be direct abort and try and reacquire like that if it was a more maneuverable foe. Big 3 is not maneuverable enough to worry about that usually. And fuel take damage, critted. Let's see. Where is he doing? He may be coming in. Raise the flaps. He seems to be moving into engagement position, but he does not have the horsepower on the engine to actually keep that up. All I have to do is put in a slight dive and open the throttle. Distance is now a mile. There is friendly behind him, so I'm really perfect position to... Yeah, he's going in. I think he had enough airframe damage that it's going to be very difficult for him to maintain any altitude. But to finish him off, all you have to do is this. Yeah, he's going in. Yeah, no, it's a MiG 315. It had the BK 12.7 pods, which actually greatly reduces the maneuverability of already poorly maneuvering aircraft, so I could easily dogfight them even in a plane that's not really meant for dogfighting. And what do we have for opponents left? Spirit 74 is an SU-2, and a very good SU-2. He's got a couple kills on the bots. I don't have any bomb loads, so one option would be to strafe ground targets, but what? I saw contact. It's a lot of AAA up here. I still have almost 2,000 rounds. I have 1,600 rounds, which is consumption rate of an MG. That's quite a few. That's quite a bit of ammunition, actually. And I see a bot. Keep my eyes peeled. Of course, it's an SU-2, so the likelihood of him actually making an attack on me way up here is really low. Doesn't mean I should become complacent, however, so let's slide in. Drop the... This is one of the problems with fighting biplanes. They're so damn maneuverable. Not gonna make it. Yep. Ugh. Good God. This is the problem with tier 8. People think lower battle rating means better, and it really doesn't. Low battle rating tends to mean certain traits. A plane with a low battle rating will, basically an early war plane will be a better dogfighter than a late war plane. I can almost always outturn, like, Yak 9s in a B model 109. An F model 109. Just don't have enough firepower, and, yep. So if you're flying a late warplane against earlier warplanes, you have to be boom and zoom, even though your plane may not be designed or optimized for that role. And a lot of people simply don't know how to play with the boom and zoom configuration. You've got to be aggressive, but not stupid. You make attack passes. You don't make. Oh, I'm not going to get him. Leave it to someone that has a much more maneuverable aircraft to deal with lower tier opponents. Like that Spitfire Mark 1 down there. That's a very good aircraft for dogfighting. And so he has better luck against a earlier war aircraft. I think this is actually the reason that we're having so much debate about tiering right now with the War Thunders Forum, is people just don't understand how to utilize the planes, and as a result we have the way they design. As a result, because the Gaijin has insisted on using performance-based in-game win rate, loss rate, kill-death ratio, efficiency basically, performance data to figure out how to place, how to adjust fighter statistics and so forth for battle rating. Generally, dogfighters tend to end up being higher tier than they needed to be. It actually is making the, I think, because they're using this performance model to figure out where they want to adjust battle ratings, it's actually going to make it so that planes that are harder to fly against lower tier opponents are going to get lowered battle ratings just because of the way the measuring stick is working right now. And that's a major problem if you're flying boom and zoom aircraft, because the vast majority of the player base does not know how to use this type of configuration or aircraft. Engine's pretty hot, but it's not. You know, I think this is a good example of a plane that actually has pretty good thermodynamic modeling for the engine and so forth, because it seems like the engine does get warm, it does get hot, but it's not too easy to overheat. I'm sorry, overheating is something that I've been thinking a lot about, because one of my favorite planes, the F model, always seems to have major problems with overheating. Oh, there's the SU-2. Is that the last? Yeah, he's the last player. Another thing with boom and zoom is it takes longer to engage targets simply because you have this attack pattern you have to use. It's not like a dogfighter where you just...
We need to put more pressure on the enemy.
Okay, I'm going to go into a 30-degree drop or so. The engine is an idle, and speed is going to build up fast. This is a Sukhoi 2, also known as the by the designation BB-1. It is a reconnaissance attack plane, sort of the predecessor to the ground attack planes that the IL-2s are. And I'm opening fire at quite a bit of distance. Got some hits. That's the end of the attack run. Pull into a zoom climb now, because that's an SU-2, and while it's maneuverable, it's not that maneuverable. Huh, he's got the aerodynamic smoke on. Or acrobatic smoke, or whatever you want to call it. And Spitfire's on him. Spitfire engages. I engage. Come on, come on. Oh! Wow. He damaged me with bombs. And I'm on fire. I might go down. No, no. Self-sealing fuel tanks. Yeah. And that's an assist, which isn't that bad. How did I do? It says 2 kills. That's actually one of the things with boom and zoom aircraft is you tend to get lower scores because you have an attack pattern, whereas dogfighters just they attack, they attack, 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 attack.
If we don't do something
So
fast, the enemy will win.
let's go to the debrief. Yeah, he's just racking up kills now. I only got 7. Oh, he did ground attack kills.
Victory is ours. Let's go home.
Come on. Here we go. Placing team 3. Fighter award. On-hand award. Well, you tend to get the on-hand award when you're playing Americans because you don't have cannon. So, yeah. Not that bad. Wasn't a bad match at all. But I think you can see the difference in how you fly with boom and zoom aircraft. This has been Rogue Sabers Rants and Reviews on Boom and Zoom. Signing out.